I'll just do Breese.
Test. Boys in the back, can you hear me? Test. You can continue talking, that's fine. We're not ready yet, but just doing some basic checks.
I can hear on the computer, yeah. Good evening. How's everybody doing tonight? I'd like to welcome you guys to the 2020-21 athletic banquet here for Breese District 12. Parents, welcome you guys. Thanks for coming. People watching at home, thank you guys for taking the time to watch. And athletes, thank you guys for joining us as well tonight. The night is here for you guys, so we're looking forward to recognizing all of you. One thing, when I thought about the season, I think we had quite a bit of success within our sports programs this year. I know we had quite a few teams with winning records. I know we won a few regional titles and maybe a couple conference titles as well. I don't have all the numbers in front of me. I know that the seasons were successful. But one thing I also took a moment to reflect on a little bit today was, winning is great and winning always feels really well. But as a former athlete, coach, somebody that's been around sports a lot, I feel like this year kind of really reminded me that how fortunate and lucky we are to compete every day. Obviously, some things didn't always work our way this year, but the feeling of competing is great. And athletes here tonight, wherever you're sitting over here, over there, I just want you to remember that whether you're coming back here next year or if you're moving on to Modern Day or Central, that when you have the opportunity to compete, you need to cherish that moment and really work your hardest for that moment because it doesn't always last and it can go pretty quickly that you don't have it. So, but on a positive note, you all did that and we had successful seasons. But keep working hard because I know you'll all accomplish great things. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Jackson so he can get us going.
Thank you, Principal Johnson. Good evening. I want to welcome Bobcat athletes, parents to Jerry Williams Gymnasium for tonight's Sports Awards banquet. This year has been a roller coaster for everyone that no one will forget. I want to thank the support of our administration, Principal Josh Johnson, and Superintendent Travis Smalley. I appreciate both of their time spent setting up the live stream for games, attending games, helping with announcements, and communicating with parents and athletes. I appreciate, once again, lastly, I also want to thank our sports boosters for financially supporting our sports program. This year was a very difficult year. For the financing supporting our program this year was very difficult for financially supporting our sports program. This was a year in which, obviously, with the pandemic, we weren't able to have a lot of fundraisers. I want to thank the sports boosters at this time. If you wouldn't mind standing up, President Shannon Sturgis. I know, Eric here. Treasurer John Jeffries. Secretary Jamie Baker. And fundraiser coordinator Kelly Hyman. Many of these fine individuals will be moving on with their kids graduating or other obligations. At this time, we have a new board coming in. I would like to introduce the new members at this time. The new president is Shelly Hyman. If you wouldn't mind. The vice president is still open, so if anyone wants to take over those obligations, those duties, it would be greatly appreciated. Treasurer Jennifer Wiest. Secretary Cassie Pedersen. Fundraiser coordinator Kim Duffy. Once again, we just want to thank them for their upcoming service. Well, let's begin with our first sport, baseball. At this time, the boys, if you wouldn't mind coming down, walking down, and just standing in front here. Let's get spread out. Let's get about 8 on each side, or if there's not. Let's get about 7 of you. 7. Once again, I want to thank the parents for their support during the baseball season. I also want to give a shout out to Luke Baker and Louis Dian for their help in keeping the boys ready to play baseball with practices when we were out during the beginning of the season. So if you guys wouldn't mind standing up. Coming into the season, I probably had the highest set of expectations for any players that I have coached. That's something to say just because we've had a state championship team here. We've had some very athletic kids come through our program. So that just tells you how much I respected your guys' ability to play the game of baseball. It's the most number of 8th graders that I have had on one team. And I want you to keep that in mind, because if I think that you guys have potential and ability to play this game, you need to believe it yourself. Once again, as the season began, I've had dreams of a magical season when everything was said and done. Unfortunately, the new guidelines recommended by the CDC and the county health board shut the program and the school down for the first 2 weeks of school. And I know that you guys are disappointed in that decision. But, you know, those are some things that sometimes we just have to deal with. We took another below 2 weeks of September, but not allowing our season to begin. When we finally got the go-ahead the 3rd week of September, we started playing. Our season began towards the end of the fall baseball season, but the players were eager to play a few memorable games their 8th grade season. And I would say that they were very memorable. Our regular season, we went 4-0. We defeated Oakville, Carlisle, Mascoutah, and Aveston. Honestly, I was just happy to have a season for the boys. And I was really proud that they did what they needed to do to go out there and give it the best effort. When the regional came around after 2 weeks of playing, we ended up getting stuck in large school. We haven't been in large school since the beginning of the program, which was in 2006, which was the first year that we had boys baseball here. And I was the coach. So there wasn't a Class M when I first started coaching. So once again, they always had to compete in that large school. But when we got to the middle class, that's our size, and we can compete with the best of them. In the regionals, we competed against teams such as Centralia was in our regional, Carlisle was very, very tough, and Westwood. We were 4-0. I thought we were going to get a #1 seed. That didn't happen because Westwood had a pretty good team. So we ended up facing Centralia, and it just happened that their ace was going to be on the mound that day. Well, just because their ace was on the mound didn't mean that we were just going to back down and just let them have the game. In fact, we went into the 7th inning down, ended up loading the bases. We were down 4-3, loading the bases with no one out. And I wish I would have, I wish I had a better outcome, but unfortunately, the outcome wasn't the way we wanted it to be. And in the game of baseball, they always say, hey, that's the game, that's baseball. And it truly was. It was just Our kids fought. They didn't want to lose. No one wants to lose. They gave it all they had, and I was very proud of how we handled the moment. We could have been really down and upset, but we gave it the best we could. So really proud of the team. At this time, we're going to introduce all of the baseball players. It looks like I have the majority of 8th graders here, but besides one 7th grader. The 7th grader, if you wouldn't mind coming on up, Blake Horseman. Shout out to Jonathan Moss and Kason Malden. They're at home quarantine right now. But look forward to next year with those guys on the team. For the 8th graders, Preston Baker. Easton Becker. Carter Dyan. Blake Hyman. Carson Helge. Lucas Keys. Benny Landman. Kyle McDonald. Will Sander. Jack Sturkis. Kyle Wools. And number 1 in our heart and number 1 in his uniform, Brock Breese. Well, at this time, we're going to give some boys some awards. Mr. Johnson, if you wouldn't mind helping. We're going to begin with the Most Improved Award. This player was cut his 6th grade year. He came back his 7th grade year with a little more determination and work ethic. His 8th grade year, he batted in the 3-hole, played first base, he could play center field and pitch. He batted .375 in 16 plate appearances and had an eye-popping 11 RBIs in 4 games, well, 5 games with the regional. That is hitting under pressure. This year's Most Improved player is Carter Dyan. The 110% award. You usually just love these players, and we've had several 110% players, but this individual stood out in the back of my mind. This person just loves the game. This player has been a pleasure to coach these past 3 years. He loves playing the game of baseball. He is like having another coach on the field. He's always looking to improve no matter what position he plays. He comes with a positive attitude and work ethic. He is constantly chattering what to do and how many outs. He's always encouraging his teammates and having high expectations for himself. This year's 110% award winner goes to Preston Baker. Defense. Usually the defensive award goes to the player who gets behind the plate on those 100-degree days and puts in the work. This year, the player made the difference for us on the mound. He appeared in 4 out of the 5 games played. He was 1-0 with 1 save. He pitched 12 innings and had 19 Ks, allowing only 6 hits, 5 base on balls, and 1 earned run. His ERA was under 1 at 0.75. His pitching represented the defense. The defense award goes to Lucas Keys. Offensive award. I'm truly amazed with this player's work ethic, talent, and love of the game of baseball. This player's speed is his best attribute on the baseball field. As a 7th grader, he had 22 stolen bases, 23 runs scored, and batted .333 with an on-base percentage of .429. He had 20 hits, 9 singles, 7 doubles, and 4 triples. In only 5 games as an 8th grader, he set the tone as a leadoff hitter by going 9 for 15 with an average of 600 and an on-base percentage of 667. He scored 11 runs, I think every single time Carter ended up hitting, he scored. He had 5 RBIs and 9 stolen bases. In a 20-game regular season, he would have had 36 hits, 44 runs scored, 20 RBIs, and 36 stolen bases. There is nothing more fun than watching him run the bases or track down a fly ball. This year's offensive player and most valuable player with the District 12 Bobcats is Benny Lamb. Boys, it's been great. I'm going to miss you, believe me. It's tough to see a good group of kids leave us. And once again, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of your coaches also, Louie. You guys do a great job with these guys. And they're a fine group of kids. So, fine group of young men now. They're going to be going to high school. So, all right, you guys have a good night. And I appreciate it. If you want an award, stick around, okay? All right. If the softball girls would like to come down at this time. Girls, it's all right to spread out. It's all right. All right. Once again, Coach Nancy Sherman could not be present tonight, so I'm going to present the awards on her behalf. So at this time, we're going to first introduce all of the players. Come up here and receive your award. Mr. Johnson will give you firm handshakes and wish you the best. Claire Albers. Marion Beckman. Josie Muscott. Riley Taylor. Carly Toll. Addison Nenninger. Peyton Benoff. Madison Owl. Delaney Davenport. Lauren Jammer. Marlon Lupker. Jay Spritz. Avery Melton. Madison Zerlini. And Alicia Clyde. The girls were able to play 5 games, and these ladies made the most of their time. We have 4 8th grade players that were all a big part of our team and helped lead our team in a positive manner, given the circumstances we were in. Claire, Marin, Josie, Riley are all reasons for success that our team accomplished. Each year, I ask our players to vote for our MVP, Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year, 110% award, and Most Improved. As always, They are spot on with their votes. Who wins these awards? First award, most improved. This athlete stepped up last year and this year to become a good leader and was willing to play multiple positions. She was a vocal leader and knew how to encourage her teammates regardless of the situation and the outcome of our games. She was always positive and tried to keep everyone positive as well. This year's most improved player is Marin Beckman. Second, we have our 110% award. This athlete pushed herself every day during games and practices. It starts with practice, and the way she plays shows that she works hard every time. She was willing to help out in all positions when we are sharp and work hard in her positions. She leads by an example and hustles constantly. This year's 110% award goes to Carly Tolley. Third, the offensive player of the year. She is a strong athlete and is a force to be reckoned with at the plate. She is a powerhouse and a determined player that is always intimidating for her opponents. Our offensive player of the year is Riley Taylor. Next, we have our defensive player of the year. This player had 4 great years as a Bobcat and dedicated herself to the program. She works hard and was also a positive leader out on the field. This player helped control and lead the outfield. Our defensive player of the year is Josie Muskoff. Last but not least, we have our most valuable player of the year. This player worked very hard for 4 years as a Bobcat. This player was dominant on defense and offense. She is a great leader with a determined state of mind. She works hard and pushes herself to lead her team to success. She sets good examples for our younger players and is very deserving of this award. Our MVP of this year is Claire Albers. Okay, girls, congratulations. Okay. At this time, I would like to introduce our cross-country coach, Coach Noah Hollingham.
Hello, everybody. First of all, I'd like to thank the administration for their continued support of the cross-country program. For anybody that doesn't know, grade school cross-country is a 3K race, which is 1.89 miles. Also, I'd like to thank Scott Jackson for doing an amazing job trying to give the runners and I an opportunity to get the most out of our season. I'd also like to thank the parents for their constant support, for them dealing with all the changes and text messages I had to send out during the season. It is greatly appreciated. At this time, I would like to recognize all of my cross-country members for their participation, dedication, and sportsmanship during our 2020 season. When I say your name, please come forward. 8th grader Zach Peters. 7th grader Logan Reed. 7th grader Luca Lyons. 7th grader Robert Holper. 6th grader Anna Florzik. 5th Sixth grader Brady Katie. Sixth grader Payne Schliedling. Fifth grader Emily Smith. Fifth grader Chase Hyman. And fifth grader Michaela Shoemaker. Guess I don't really have a team around here. That's all right. Well, this year was a little different from the meets that we were used to competing in. We only competed in 4 meets at 2 different locations, which were St. Rose and Damonsville. We only ran against schools who were from our conference. Sadly, due to COVID and quarantining, we did not get to have the season like many other local grade schools could have. For anybody that doesn't know, here's a little rundown of our season. We had the chance to have 1 practice, then we had to quarantine for 2 weeks. Then we came back, we had a season. After the first time we quarantined, we were finally able to begin our season. Typically, a team would begin a season with practice. Not my team. We began our season with a meet in St. Rose. For being so unprepared this season, I was very impressed with their mentality, perseverance, and work ethic. Each and every one of them worked hard to beat previous times and to better themselves as runners during our shortened season. As my high school coach always told me, we are a different breed. Now on to the awards. Most improved girl. This girl was quiet, but I could tell she was very observant. This girl was always looking up to her older cross-country runners and learning from them. She was a runner that I knew would push herself at practice and at meets. She went from a time of 23 minutes, 8 seconds at the beginning of our season and finished with a time of 20 minutes, 23 seconds at the end of our season. Your most improved girl is Michaela Shoemaker. Most improved boy. This boy was an asset to the boys team. He was constantly ready to go at practices, and he was always ready to better himself as a runner. He has been running for my team for 2 years now, and I'm so excited to see what he can do in the upcoming years. He went from a time of 17 minutes, 10 seconds at the beginning of our season, and finished with a best time of 15 minutes, 28 seconds at the end of our season. Your most improved boy runner is Braden Caton. 110% girl. This runner never ceases to amaze me. This girl always gave 110% during practices, and it definitely showed during the meets. She would come to me if she had any questions about what we were doing for practice, about stretches, and about the meets. She may have not ran her 5th grade year, and this year may have been ruined because of COVID, but everybody should know that she's a force to be reckoned with. She has a great potential, especially with the attitude and work ethic she has, to make it to state in the upcoming years. Your 110% girl runner is Anna Forza. 110% boy. One word for this boy. Smiley. This guy's smile always seemed to brighten my day. No matter what the practice consisted of, he was always willing to give 110% with a smile on his face. I swore his smile would have faded after the tough workouts we had at practice, but boy was I wrong. I look forward to having this kid again this upcoming season. Your 110% boy runner is Chase Hyman. Most valuable runner for the girls. This runner has been running for me for 2 years, but 3 years with the program. She has been an asset to this team. She is constantly pushing herself during practice and outside of practice for the meets. Not only has she become a leader for this team, but she has become a role model to the underclassmen. I look forward to coaching her for 1 more year this fall. Your most valuable runner is Luca Lyons. Your most valuable runner for the boys. Just like Luca, this guy's been running for me for 2 years, but he's been with the program for 3. This guy had a personality that was unmatchable. He was always pushing the team to run their hardest, and he would push the team to their max potential. Before the races, he was always leading the stretches and making sure his teammates would get to where they needed to go on time. When he finished his race, he would immediately be on the side cheering on his teammates. I look forward to having this guy run for me during his upcoming 8th grade year. Your most valuable runner is Logan Reed. That's all I have. I know I heard from Scott Jackson that we're doing sign-ups tomorrow for cross country, so I would give it a try. Logan keeps coming back to me, so I think he enjoys it. I like to think I'm a good coach, but I don't know what they talk about behind my back, so we'll see. Right now, I'd like to turn it to the 7th and 8th grade girls basketball coach, Jen Wessel.
These girls this year, they worked hard on their practices, but they always asked one thing before practice ever started. What was that, Claire?
So we have to see the routine.
Exactly. They always said, do we have to do this for the team? I said, ask him to do it twice. So, but I had a lot of fun though. I said we did get a lot of games in. Seventh grade, we went 10-0 with 7th grade. Got a lot of talent on that team. Hope to come back next year. We can go someplace regional wise and do some good things with them. 8th graders this year, we started out a little slow, a little rough. We didn't gel real good early in the season. Took some lumps. Played the team the second time around. Avis and Carlisle both times. Avis and Carlisle beat us bad first time. Second time played them, we came back and made a game of it. Could have won both of them. That's how both we got back. The other loss they had was against St. Rose. Second time we beat St. Rose. So I feel like the girls improved enough through the season that they got good enough to play the better teams, and they proved that by able to play with them. Like I said, they were very determined to try to get out of our routine every day, but I wouldn't let them out of it. Just one of those things. I'll introduce the girls. We got Claire Albers. Here we go. Zoe Cool. Maren. Zoe Booth. Got a few awards. Feel like I'll give out the MVP to the team here. This girl, if she was determined to win the ball game for us, most of the time we come out on top. She was determined to do her best out there for me. She played hard. Just couple games, we just come up a few points short. But I feel that, our outfit was the most valuable player this year. My 110% award this year goes to a girl that I could tell her to play anywhere on the floor. She'd do everything I asked her to do. No questions asked. Played her heart out for me the whole time. Determined to get better and be on the floor. I give that award to Abby Shackler. My most improved player this year, I was on her pretty hard most of the time. She has to play harder, play bigger, play stronger. And toward the end of the season, she became pretty much a dominant player for me out there. Back in the regional championship game, she scored 20 points for us. That's a JV Muscat. The defensive board, if I could just get the girl to slow down on the offensive side a little bit, she'd be pretty tough on the floor out there. But Marin only plays one way. 110% as fast as she can run. I get the defensive award to Marin. Offense, we had a few girls that were pretty close in the scoring this year. I don't have a tally in front of me. I forgot to let that alone. But, I give the offensive award to Mari Lepper. She was the leader on the team. All right, I can't say too much, not enough about these girls here. They all worked hard for me. I appreciate the hard work. I hope to see the seventh graders back next year. Thank you.
Yes. Good evening, Coach Josh Rodini. In the 7 years that I've been coaching here, we have not been tested more than we have been this year. Each year I'm very, very excited. You can ask my wife how excited I get for whatever basketball season is about to start. She thinks I don't love her and the kids anymore, so I'm just so ready to get away. But this year I was scared that we were not going to have a season, and kind of like Coach Jackson said at the beginning, we were all very lucky, and don't take this for granted. These opportunities that we have here, and we ended up having a good season. Seventh graders this year surprised me with only having 8 kids, and 2 of those kids only played 2 to 3 quarters a game, and they still ended up having a season of 8-1. They only lost to Aviston by 3 points, and we should have only lost by 1. So they could have had an undefeated season for 7th grade this year. Let's go ahead and start out with announcing the players. I think we have a couple of them that are not here. Kason Mulvin. Jonathan Moss. Blake Horseman. Gavin Peppenhorse. Cole Davis. Brody Beckman. Colson Wagner. Landon Rickless. we'll start with the 8th graders. This season was very tough. With wearing the masks, I felt sorry for these kids to have to wear that, but unbelievably, they did not complain about wearing these masks as much as I thought they would. Whether in the games, they didn't bother me about it. They just put them on and they played, breathing hard, but they fought through every single game. So I was very, very proud of them for their respect, for everything they did for the school and everybody else. We ended up this season at 9-4, but we had some great wins there. Last year in 7th grade, we played Carlisle, who's very, very tall, very athletic, and we lost to them last year, 49-19. Okay, so the first time we played them this year, we beat them 49-48 in overtime. It's a big deal, especially when I think 90% of the kids on my team are shorter than me. It's a big deal. So, the second time we didn't play them in the conference tournament, we only lost to them, I think, by 1 point again. So the progress that we made throughout the season and from the end of the 7th grade season was amazing. And we all know that's what it's about, is just making the progress and getting better and growing as a team and growing as a player. So overall, I was very, very happy with the season. We ended up winning regionals as well. So it's a shame that we couldn't go to state, but we did win regionals, and that's a big part. It's a big accomplishment. Let's go ahead and start with the awards. We'll start with we'll announce the players first. Start with Cade Ripperda. Blake Hyman. Easton Becker. Royce Foster. Preston Baker. Jack Sturkis. Kai Tunyas. Will Sander. Carson Hellige. Kyle Wills. All right, let's start with the awards. The first award we're going to give out is the Most Improved Award. And I don't know if this kid did actually make the team his 5th and 6th grade year. But with me in 7th grade year, he did make the team. And from 7th grade to 8th grade and throughout the whole 8th grade season, he improved so much that I honestly feel like if he keeps that progress going, he could end up being a good player even in high school. He keeps up the good work. And that award is going to Blake Hyman. Second award is the Hustle Award, which is one of my favorite awards. And there could be no other kid besides this kid who would get this award. For whenever he started playing for me in 7th grade, I think being probably the smallest player on the floor, playing a big man's position, every single game he would get the most rebounds, I think, out of anybody, and he tried harder than anybody else out on that floor. One of my favorite players of all time, Jack Sturkis. Third award we're going to give out is the Defensive Award. Defensive Award is a great award as well. You can't have good offense without a defense. And, like I said, with our team being so small this year, we had to play basically a 2-3 zone defense the whole time, and I had to put this kid in the middle down low and have him guard these big guys the whole game and just battle with them continuously. I think if he would have stayed in the game most of the time, he probably would have done a little bit better. But I don't know what he could have done against these tall guys out there that are battling him. But Preston Baker got the deep lead. Offensive award will be next. Offensive award came with a lot this year because we were basically played as a big group. I don't think there was more than a couple games where we had a big leading scorer that just outscored everybody by tons of points. This kid came to this school just this year as a 7th grader, and that offensive award goes to Gavin Kevin, of course. The most valuable player award goes to a kid who remember going to my camps whenever I think he was in 5th grade, and I knew how serious he took the game and how serious he took everything that he did. And it showed, whether at school, never had an issue with him. At practice, barely talked, but he tried hard every practice, and he was a leader. And that's probably the most important quality of the most valuable player, is the leadership that he portrayed in the game, in school, at practices, everything that we did. He led a lot of games in scoring. There was a couple of games where he got in some foul trouble, and he wasn't able to play, but we could tell that we missed him out on the floor. The most valuable player award this year goes to Easton Becker.
Cheerleaders, you can come down. My name is Taya Kripp, and I'm the cheerleading coach. Unfortunately, we didn't get to have a season this year due to COVID restrictions and gym capacity. So I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. I will recognize the girls on the team, so if you will come up here when your name is called. Lauren Jorgensmeyer. Anna Forzik. Macy Carillion. Seventh graders Allie Murray. Cameron Langhauser. Ivy Hyman. Hayden Lampy. Greta Jansen. And Lily Schumacher. And 8th graders Maya Bedard. Brielle Graber. Bella Singler. And McKenna Rickles. 8th graders, I wish you well in high school. I can't wait to see what you guys do, and hopefully things get back to normal so the rest of us can have a regular season next year. I will hand it over to Paul.
I'll start with the 7th grade team. We had 10 girls make the 7th grade team this year. I'll just start by listing you guys off, and Chris will give you your certificate. Our setters this year were Addison Nenninger, Our outside hitters were Marley Lumper, Lauren Cameron, and Madison Alley. Our defensive specialists were Claire Loopers, Carly Tully, and Luca Lyons. We also were happy to have Layla Linder this year as our manager. She did some scorekeeping and some odds and ends for us during games, some videoing and all that kind of stuff. So it was really nice to have somebody on the bench to help out with that. So we appreciate her help this year. This group of girls on the 7th grade team, very competitive group, very athletic group. They just continue to get better each year. Between the shortened season this year, and then we had the joy of weather cancellations in the middle of our season, we only got 7 games in with this group. But it was a perfect 7-0 finish for them this year. They beat everybody in straight sets, so we were 14-0 on sets for the season. And they actually, there was only one team that they even let score 20 points on this year, so it was pretty dominant performance for them. They did a really nice job. I'm really excited to see what they do next year. We have a little work to do, but they did a really nice job. That's our 7th grade team. I missed our middle hitters, I'm sorry. Peyton Benoff is the middle. All of our 7th graders dressed 8th grade this year. We kind of had a small group of 8th graders with only 6. So I'm going to go through and just announce the girls, and I'll put the 7th graders in there that kind of got some significant playing time and actually were role players for us. So our setters this year for 8th grade were Addison Menninger and Abby Shanafelt. Our outside hitters were Marin Beckman and Zoe Luke. Our middle hitters were Claire Albers and Josie Muscal. Our libero this year was Riley Kaler. And then we had 3 defensive specialists this year: Zoe Cole, Lauren Cameron, and Molly Lucker. I couldn't be more proud of this group this year, how they came out, how they played this season. I'm sure all of us coaches feel the same way. We wish we could have seen what they would have done if they would have had a normal, regular, full season. Like I said, we lost half our season this year. Actually, last year, I should say. So we lost half our season last year to COVID. So this, 8th grade group, 6th grade, 7th grade group didn't get a full season last year. We pretty much cut it off mid to partway through. So, they didn't get their 7th grade tournaments and all of that work in that we usually get. We lost an entire week of games also this year to, like I said, weather. So that cut us down basically to 7 regular season games. And I think we had all of maybe 5 practices on the season. So that was a little bit tough. But I think that it speaks volumes to these girls' dedication that even with all that gym time loss, they still worked extremely hard on their own this year to make huge improvements from where they ended last season. Each one of them showed huge improvements on the court, and they should all be very proud of that. We finished the season 11-1 overall. We went 7-0 in all of our regular season games, and that earned us the #1 seed in the conference tournament. In those 7 regular season games, we were able to avenge losses from last year against St. Rose and Carlisle. Unfortunately, we fell a little bit short in the conference tournament championship. That was our only loss of the season, and it was to a very talented Bartelzo team. So we took second in the conference tournament. That loss was one that we're probably not going to forget for a very long time. We lost 14-16 in the third set after having them down 14-11. All we needed was a side out to pull up the victory. Just couldn't quite squeak it out. So I think that that's probably one we'd like to get back. In the postseason, we were able to rebound from that and came back and beat a much improved Davidson team 25-10, 26-24 in the semifinal. And then we went on to win the regional championship against Nashville, 25-18, 25-14. And that gave our program its 9th straight regional championship. So really I have no doubt that this team would have went on to succeed in state. We won't know that ever, but I really do believe that they would have brought home some hardware again this year. But, you know, it's unfortunate, but we did all that we could with what we had, so we enjoyed every minute. Aside from the accomplishments of this group on the court, I just want them to know how much I have enjoyed having them in the gym the last 4 years. This is where I get joined. From day one tryouts, their attitudes, effort, willingness to be good supportive teammates to not just each other, but all of the underclassmen in the gym was just second to none. It just made me really proud to be their coach every day. So thank you, ladies, for continuing that legacy for us. And just before I start the individual awards, I just want to say a few things. Parents, thank you so much for all your support every year. It speaks volumes to the kids that you've raised. They're really a good group of girls, so thank you. Also, thank you, Scott, Mr. Jackson, and all of our administration for the season this year. I know it was not easy, and I just want you to know it was much appreciated. Our awards. Offensive award. This player led the team in attacking stats. She had most attempts with 126, most kills with 62 with only 22 errors, to record a team high 317 hitting efficiency and a 49.2% kill percentage. She led the team with 2.6 kills per game. She also led the team with 11 blocks in the season, making her a force to be reckoned with at the net. She also was our lead point earner with 84 on the season and 3.5 per game. She made huge improvements in her ball control and decision making this year. Because of that, she was our go-to hitter when she was in the front row. That player is Joseph Esco. Our defensive award. This player led the team in serve reception stats with 133 attempts and only 25 errors for an 81% efficiency. She was second on the team in dig attempts and total digs with 42 digs on 59 attempts for 71% digging efficiency. She was also second on the team with 21 total aces, averaging 1 per game. This player oftentimes was covering half the court herself and was never afraid to chase down and dive to save the ball on defense. She used that same drive anytime she was given the opportunity to take a swing from the back row, which for a libero was pretty often. She is probably one of the most athletic and fearless players that I've had in the program, and I would often receive compliments from the coaches on her performance. The defensive award goes to Riley Gilbert. Most improved. This was the toughest award for me to decide this year, as we had so much improvement from so many players. As the season started, I really felt like this player in particular just made such huge progress, not only with her skills, but her mental approach to the game. From last season to this season, she went from a kid that was struggling just to earn playing time to a full-on contributor and someone we needed on the floor to succeed. Balls that last year she wouldn't have taken a swing at, she was putting away for us this year. I know that she put in countless hours in the offseason and worked incredibly hard to improve her hitting as well as her passing and serving, along with making huge strides in finding her confidence as a player. Her effort was good enough to land her fourth on the team in kills with 25 on 103 attempts, third in digs with 38 on 47 attempts, and second in serve receive with 41 passes on 53 attempts. Our most improved player goes to Zoe Lee. think showed tremendous amounts of improvement from last year to this year. She was tasked with playing a position this year that probably isn't necessarily the best fit for her as an athlete, as she's a little bit undersized for the role. But I never once heard her complain or saw her step back from the challenge. She was second on the team with 28 kills on 91 attempts for a 121 hitting efficiency. She also chipped in 3 blocks and 13 aces for 44 points earned, 1.8 per game, ranking her 4th on the team. Even though she was oftentimes outside of the net, she would never shy away from getting in there and putting the ball away or putting the block up in the face of a much larger opponent. She was someone we could always count on to give everything she had in practice and engage to get a dimension of playing her. This year's 110% award goes to Claire Albert. This player has been a leader for us every year that she's been here. As a coach, she was a player I knew I could trust in making decisions on the floor. She was second on the team in points earned with 60 total and 2.5 per game. She led the team in aces with 39 on 130 attempts and only 10 errors for a 90% serving percentage and a 30% ace percentage. She led the team in digs with 52 on 70 attempts. She was second in hitting efficiency with 21 kills and only 12 errors on 70 attempts for a 129 hitting percentage. She also led the team in assists with 108 for 4.5 per game. She carried a heavy load, running our offense as a setter in 3 rotations and contributing as a hitter in the other 3. We can consistently count on her to start us on the right path, oftentimes giving us a heavy lead right out of the gate. She was another player that I felt like showed great improvement in her skills, but also in the mental aspect of her game. Played with a lot more confidence this year. Our MVP this year was Abby Shamko. And last but not least, our Outstanding Bobcat Award. This is one that Lonnie started before me, and I kind of kept the tradition every year of having. As a coach, I can never reiterate to the girls enough the importance of being a good teammate. It can be very difficult. We were all in the gym competing with each other, competing for playing time, starting spots, but it's also to support each other and accept your role and respect the coach's decisions to do what's best for the team. This award goes to the athlete that I feel led the way in this aspect for all of the younger players in the gym. She's always cheering and vocally supporting the teammates, whether it's a younger player struggling in practice or one of her teammates who looking to serve for her. This year's Outstanding Bobcat goes to Josie Maston.
Started in mid-March and we wrapped up in the beginning of May. Our focus was to help young golfers learn golf etiquette, the rules of golf, development with golf skills, and to instill in them the joy and appreciation for this lifelong sport. With the ups and downs of COVID and conflicting sport schedules, our team numbers fluctuated until we landed on a solid team of 9 players. We had 6 girls and 3 boys play on the golf team this season. 2 golfers, Brock Breese and Riley Taylor, are 8th graders, and the rest are 7th graders. Our season consisted of 5 conference matches. We played these matches against area schools such as Carlisle, Bartelso, Germantown, Oakville, and All Saints Academy. Our home course was Bent Oak and Breeze, but we had the privilege of playing other area golf courses. Each match allowed us to play 6 boys and 6 girls, so thankfully we were able to play all the golfers on our team this year. Unlike other sports, although these golfers represented Breeze District 12, the scoring was actually based on individual scores for 9 holes. Brock Weist and Caden Place scored in the top 5 golfers for every boys match. The boys teams were often full, which made it more challenging and competitive for these golfers. Breeze actually had one of the largest teams in the conference, which was very exciting. However, we found our opponents had a smaller number of girls on their teams. Our girls had great success. Peyton Benoff, Riley Schultz, and Luca Lyons placed in the top 5 golfers for all of our conference conference matches as well. Our season ended with regional playoffs for the boys. This included a 9-hole playoff in Oakville to see who would advance to state. The cut score ended up being 57 for that match. We had 2 of our boys playing regionals, both Brock and Peyton played. Brock unfortunately missed the cut just by 1 stroke. Peyton scored a 52, which advanced him to the state tournament at Red Lake, which was on just May 11th. Due to the smaller number of girls participating in golf this season, the Junior High Association determined that the girls who were interested in playing state automatically advanced. Understandably, our young girls team determined that 18-hole competition just wasn't quite something they felt prepared for. So hopefully next year we have some girls who want to take on that challenge. On May 11th, Peyton faced 53 boys at the state golf competition at Red Lake. He played a tough 18 holes at this challenging and beautiful course. We're really extremely proud of his determination and his perseverance while representing Breese. So great job to all of our golfers this season. Some of our players are not here tonight. Obviously, you don't see all 9 of them. But I would like to just recognize, first of all, some who are receiving participation awards. I appreciate that these players came out to play golf. A lot of them, like I said, brand new golfers. And it was really a joy coaching them. We had a lot of fun teaching them all the pros and cons to golf. So Kaylee Dyan, Layla Linder, and Ryla Taylor, please come up to get your participation. We have 3 awards that we're going to distribute to the girls and to the boys for the following categories: Most Improved Golfer, Most Dedicated Golfer, Most Valuable Golfer. So starting with our girls team, this player put in great effort throughout the season. I had to teach her that the W on her club meant a wedge and that the driver was the biggest club in her golf bag. I also had to learn, she had to learn the proper mechanics, and she made huge strides. She actually ended up being a tough competitor at matches. So I'm proud to say that Riley Schultz is our most improved golfer. Our next recipient's not here, but I want her to know that we're thinking of her. So this golfer put in time not only at practice, but away from practice. They know that I always said, make sure you get out and golf this weekend. And she did. She brings her scorecards just to prove it. She plays always with a smile on her face. She can be found on the golf course often with her dad. I'm happy to give our most dedicated golfer for the girls team to Luca Lyons. Finally, our most valuable golfer for the girls is a player who consistently scored low in our golf meets. She had faced top golfers from the opposing teams. She's a natural leader on the team, and she came to us with a solid foundation in golf. She might not realize it quite yet. I give her quite a few reminders, but she really has a great future in golf. So I'm happy to share that Kate Benoff is our most valuable golfer. For our boys team, this player also is not here, but he came to us with a few rounds of golf under his belt. He was determined to compete against others and lower his score overall. His main goal might be to beat his mom on the golf course. We're really proud of his perseverance and his desire to do his best. So the most improved golfer for the boys team is Colson Waitner. Our next recipient is an athlete. He already knows how to compete. He understands that hard work pays off, and he had to be pulled off the golf course when practice ended. He put in countless hours on the driving range and played golf every chance he could get. I'm proud to give the most dedicated golfer award to Brock Beast. Finally, this player loves to golf. He's played it since he was a little boy and asked to golf almost every day. He often is heard encouraging and complimenting other golfers during the matches. He worked really hard this season. He competed at the top level that's possible. I'm proud to recognize Caden Clay as our most valuable golfer. In closing, I just want to thank Mr. Jackson administration for recognizing this great sport and allowing Breese District 12 to add golf for this year. It was really my pleasure to coach these lifelong golfers. I hope everyone gets a chance to get out and golf, and just thank you very much. It's a great season.
boys and girls, come on down if you participated in track. All right, first off, we would like to thank our parents and athletes for supporting our track program this year. I would like to give a special thanks to Coach Ali for stepping up as coach when Coach Davis resigned to a conflict in his work schedule. So thank you, Miss Ali. Once I told Miss Ali that we needed that track coach, I mean, she was all over it. I mean, she was just like, yes, please sign me up. And maybe it didn't go down like that. I'm never going to tell anybody here. But when she got on board with us, I think that's the reason, we had so many participants. I mean, she was out there telling them, hey, sign up for track. I'm going to coach. You're going out there too. If I have to go out there, you're going. Remember that conversation, boys and girls? So she forced you, right? Okay. Well, I want to thank her for doing that, because sometimes we just need to, go outside that box, and we need a little bit of extra encouragement to do things that, maybe we would never done if somebody would have never pushed you. Also, we have a few shout outs. We would like to thank our new track, AKA the new parking lot edition. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed it. It is on the south there, that one that we still can't park cars on, but it is, we run on it. Also, we would like to thank the new long jump pit. Yes, that is in need of sand. So we request to fill that void, please contact us after the banquet. We're looking for sand so we can actually jump into a pit without hurting ourselves. Okay. So track highlights. Well, everybody knows that just like as far as the number of practices and going straight into events, not only did it happen at the grade school level, it happened at the high school level too. So this is just, one of those strange years. So we're basing our season on the quality of wins versus the quantity, and the quality of the number of events that we went to and participated in. We competed with conference schools like All Saints Academy, Carlisle, Aviston, Albers, Davidsville, Lebanon, and Oakville. I'm proud to say that the boys were 3-0. So, hey, I told you a lot of potential for our boys athletes. So really, really proud of them. Our girls, they took 2 second place finishes and 1 third place finish. So kudos to the girls as well. I mean, we only have a total of 10 girls, 16 boys, and 10 girls, they were just as equal to the 16 boys. I mean, they competed, they worked hard, and they gave it their best. Regionals, well, that was quite interesting. Just like baseball, in which we had to compete against the large schools, we don't have a choice in track. Yeah, we compete in large schools all the time. Teams like Highland, Triad, throw in Mascuda. How about Oval Fallons? Hey, you know what? They have Collinsville out there that has about 2,000 7th and 8th graders. That's who we are competing against. And Westland. Hey, Westland's almost our size. They're only about 400 students more than us. So we are the smallest, like one of the smallest. I mean, Nashville's out there. I know that they have to do this, but we weren't in their regional. I don't know if they had these type of teams in theirs. Maybe they did, but goodness, this is almost, when you go to these events, humbling to say the least. So when you go there, if you're humbled and you're kind of looked down upon, because all of these people are like, hey, get set up on the track, get on that like arrow. And I'm asking, what arrow are you talking about? There's like 20 arrows. I don't know. Well, your kids don't know either. I'm like, that's because we run on a parking lot. Anybody else run on parking lots? They're like, oh, I never thought about it. That was a true comment from one of the coaches. They stopped talking to me after that. So I didn't have to worry about talking to them much longer. So let's introduce these ladies and gentlemen. So let's begin with our 7th grade boys. 7th grade boys, we have Isaiah Becker. Logan Reed. And Landon Richards. Our 8th grade boys, Junior Bolinas. Carter Ryan. William Gorsuch. Blake Hyman. Landon Johnson. Benny Lehman. Zach Peters. Braden Ricks. Dave Lipstadt. Jack Sturgis. Kai Tunyas. Luis Vasquez Maya, the coach in this on the track meet. And Kyle Wobbles. For the girls, we had 6th grader Madison Zerlini, 7th grader Madison Alley, Delaney Davenroy, Karina Kraft, and Carly Coley. And 8th grader Maya Bedard, Naomi Knapp, So Ruth, Alan Meyer, and Bella Singler. Okay, let's get to our awards. Mr. Johnson just says he's also on the first page, and I'm like, I only have 3 pages. Just relax, people. Relax. I know you're sweating to death. I am too. It'll be all right. We'll get through this together. All right, the 110% award. The 110% award is given to the boy and girl athlete who displays our following motto on work ethic. Track is a self-motivated sport. The size of the team outweighs the amount of coaches. So it is very important for each student to be participating in track because they truly want to be part of the team. With this being said, each student will be expected to use practice as a time to develop and better their skills to be successful at upcoming meets. We'll be looking for these athletes to possess the following: 110%, focused listening, positive attitudes towards self and others, ambitious, self-driven, coachable, and open to all events. When you have a school our size, well, you just have to do a lot of events. We are only allowed to have 4 though. You can only do 4 events. Just the way track is. I figured that out this year. This is actually my first year. Many people noticed. I'm not really sure why. Okay, the boy that best modeled these attributes competed in the high jump, the 100-meter dash, the 100 relay, and the 200-meter relay. This year's 110% award goes to William Gorsuch. And for the girl that modeled these attributes, competed in the high jump, 100-meter hurdle, 100-meter dash, and 100-meter relay. She may have snuck in 400 meters and various things because she was not afraid to do whatever the 110% award goes for. That's Fallon Meyer. Now to the most improved award. Mark Twain says continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection. I would also like to add that athletes who believe that it's better to work hard to achieve their true potential is worth more than having the talent and not achieving their true potential. I actually wrote that. I didn't look it up. It just came to me. I'm like, that sounds good. Hopefully I don't mess that up. These 2 track athletes strive to be the best they can be. That's the Army motto. Most improved boy. This individual began his journey on the long jump, with jumps consisting in about 15-foot area. His persistence to want to do better landed him with a regional jump of 17 feet, 4 inches in second place in that Bardsfield regional that I just told you about. He also competed in the 200-meter dash with a time of 27 seconds flat to 25.2 in conference. He also competed in the 100-meter and 200-meter relay, where as a third leg stretched out leads in races. The most improved goes to Vinnie Lamon. The most improved girl. This individual got a late start into basketball. However, that did not stop her from proving how she could help the team. She competed in the shot put, where she threw an amazing 26 feet, 4 inches in a throw to win the conference tourney. She was obviously not finished when she took home first at the regional with a top throw of 28 feet, 6 inches. She also competed in the 200-meter dash with a time of 32.2 seconds. At the regional, she improved from that time with a 29.8 seconds. This year's most improved girl award goes to Zoe Luke. Now for the most valuable boy and girl runner. These two athletes have gained attention and have earned their respect from their coaches and teammates. They are willing to put forth and do whatever it takes to compete to make themselves better. Sometimes that takes running in pain without complaints. They also showed their determination to be winners, whether they won or lost. Track athlete Maurice Green says, to be number one, you have to train like you are number 2. We believe that these athletes did that. The most valuable runner for the girls first. This individual scored 54 individual points and 22 points in relays for a total of 76 points. She competed in the shot put at conference and placed 3rd. She competed in the discus and went from throwing the discus 47 feet in a regular season match to 61 feet at a regional, placing 5th overall in the large schools. She ran the 200-meter dash where she went from a 31.9 second speed to a 30.6 speed. She ran the 100-meter and 200-meter relay. We even had her run the 400, where she took 2nd at the end. Man, she was mad about that. She is as competitive and fiery as you get when it comes to competition. This year's most valuable runner is Maya Bedard. And the most valuable runner for the boys. This individual scored 84 points individually, 30 points in his relay, that totaled 114 points as a team on the season. He competed in the high jump, 100-meter hurdle, 100-meter relay, and the 100-meter dash. He won the high jump events at every event he competed in, with his last jump being 5'4" in the regionals. He placed in every running event. If individuals were allowed to compete in more than 4 events, he would have gladly competed with a smile on his face. Most valuable boys track athlete in the 2021 season is Carter Dye. Miss Allie, you want to add anything? All right, boys, girls, great season. Let's sit down. At this time, Mr. Johnson will be coming up to share the scholar athletes.
I have to say that be tough to follow that. However, I would like to add that what we're doing here actually is we are adopting a new gym philosophy for our athletes to train in. As he mentioned, it is warm here. We're taking the steps of we're going to make it hot in here so that when other people come to compete against us, they're not used to it, and so we have the upper hand on it. That's really what we're going for here. Just if you're actually wondering. At this time, we would like to recognize our 8th grade athletes who have not only put the effort into their respective sports, but most importantly, into their academics as well. These students have maintained an A or B average their 8th grade year. And when we call your name, please come forward and receive your medal from Mr. Jackson. Claire Alvarez. Easton Becker. Dave Dorsey. Rhea Gray. Blake Hyman. Carson Melton. Naomi Knapp. Vinny Lehman. Zoe Lou. Alan Meyer. Josie Muswell. McKenna Rivers. Kate Ripperdown. Will Sanders. Abby Sandefeld. Helen Singler. Jack Sturkis. Louis Vasquez Baez. And Brock Reese.
Don't come on there and talk.
Athletes, once again, great job to all of you. Great job to all of our teams. Parents, your dedication is instrumental in the successes we continue to see in our athletic programs here at District 12. We thank you for all that you do to better your students, athletes, and it is greatly appreciated. And with that, we conclude the ceremony. And if you are an award winner, please stick around for a picture. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.